Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Charlie. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make my delicious homemade bananas Foster ice cream cake from scratch. Now, this is a very delicate cake that requires a lot of patience and time to make. It consists of 2 layers of soft and moist banana vanilla rum cake with a cinnamon swirl. We also make a stabilized homemade vanilla ice cream, and it's topped with the traditional bananas Foster, a New Orleans dish, of course, along with some roasted pecans, which we add some on top and add that on the sides of the cake as well. And we also make a stabilized whipping cream as well to keep the cake nice and stable, and it mostly goes onto the sides and on top of the cake. This recipe calls for about close to 12 servings of cake. It's a great dish to try during those summer months, and it's also a different take on an ice cream cake, New Orleans style, of course. Absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all that you'll need to make your bananas Foster ice cream cake. Let's get started with our ingredients. You'll need some Swansdown cake flour or all-purpose flour, and along with that, you're going to need some sugar, brown sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda, cornstarch, gelatin, unsalted butter at room temperature, large eggs at room temperature, whole milk at room temperature, sour cream at room temperature, 3 pints, that's 48 fluid ounces of heavy whipping cream, Bacardi rum, this is a dark rum, vegetable or canola oil, vanilla extract, butter extract, almond extract, cake batter extract, banana extract, ground cinnamon, pecan halves, whole bananas, and some confectioner sugar. And to bake your cake, you will need some Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray and 2 9-inch round cake pans. And for the rest of your tools, here I have an ice cream maker. Now this is a 1 1/2 quart ice cream maker by Cuisinart. You will also need a disposable piping bag with the Wilton number 4B tip. If you don't have that, you can use the Wilton number 1M tip. And you're also going to need an airtight container bowl to put your ice cream in. Now I also want to let you know that if you already buying your ice cream pre-made, then you can omit the ice cream maker and the airtight container bowl and 2 of the heavy whipping creams, and you'll be good to go. And there we have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. So we're going to get started with the preparation of our ingredients. So first things first, here I have a medium-sized bowl with a mesh strainer. And for our dry ingredients, we're going to add 2 cups of cake flour or all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Sift all the ingredients into this medium-sized bowl. Stir all your ingredients together. Okay, now for our wet ingredients. Now since I'm using cake flour in a separate medium-sized bowl, I'm going to add 2/3 cup of whole milk at room temperature. And to that, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of sour cream at room temperature. Now, if you're using all-purpose flour, you're going to add a 1/2 cup of whole milk at room temperature and 1/3 cup of sour cream at room temperature. And to that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the Bacardi dark rum, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of butter extract, 1 teaspoon of cake batter extract, 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract, and 1 teaspoon of banana extract. Stir all your ingredients together until combined. Alright, let's get started with the preparation of our cake batter. So in our stand mixer bowl fitted with the paddle attachment, you can also use a hand mixer as well for this recipe. Add 1 1/2 sticks of unsalted butter, softened and at room temperature, right on in there. 2 to 3 tablespoons of vegetable or canola oil, and 1 3/4 cups of sugar. Now I'm going to start my mixer on a medium-low speed just to get that butter, oil, and sugar incorporated. I'm going to turn my mixer up to the highest setting, and I'm going to mix this on high speed for 6 minutes. Now at some point during those 6 minutes, you're going to go ahead and stop your mixer and scrape down the sides of your bowl. Continue mixing that in. Alright, Scrape down the sides of your bowl. Start your mixer on a medium speed and add 3 large eggs in at room temperature, one at a time. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Okay, now we're going to alternate the cake flour or all-purpose flour mixture and the banana milk mixture into the batter. Since this is a smaller cake batter, we're going to add the ingredients in here 2 separate times. We're not doing any measurements or anything like that. Add the first amount of the cake flour or all-purpose flour mixture and the first amount of the banana milk mixture. Mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Okay, next I'm going to add the second and final amount of the cake flour or all-purpose flour mixture and the second and final amount of the banana milk mixture. Make sure you get a spatula to get that all in there. And again, I'm going to mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl and our banana cake batter is now ready. Spray your 9-inch cake pans with the Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 325 degrees. Add your prepared cake batter into your 9-inch round baking pans. Using the back of a spoon, spread the cake batter around your baking pans as evenly as possible. To make the batter more even, shake your pan slightly and tap each pan at the bottom with your hand. Next, I'm going to sprinkle a generous amount of cinnamon on top of the cake batter. Using the back of a spoon, I'm going to swirl the cinnamon into the cake batter. Using the back of a spoon, spread the cake batter around your baking pans as evenly as possible. To make the batter more even, shake your pans. Now they are ready to be baked. Place this into a preheated 325-degree oven on the middle rack. Bake this for 30 minutes. Alright, it's been about 30 minutes now for our cake. Now let's go ahead and remove this out of the oven. Toothpick inserted into each cake layer should come out clean. Let this cool for about 2 to 3 hours before removing the cakes out of the pan. Okay, let's begin the process of making our ice cream. Now, before we begin, I want to let you know that if you already have your ice cream already made and purchased, then you don't have to follow these steps to make the ice cream. I'm going to separate 4 egg whites from 4 egg yolks. Now I'm going to take my egg whites and place them into this small container, and I'm going to take my egg yolks and place them into this separate bowl. Okay, in the same medium-sized bowl with our 4 egg yolks, add 1 cup of sugar and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to take my spoon and just stir all the ingredients together until combined. From there, I'm going to take my whisk and I'm going to stir this vigorously for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Alright, and there we go. As you can see, our mixture is a nice pale yellow color. Okay, let's get started with making our cornstarch mixture for our ice cream. So in a small bowl, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of whole milk. Make sure your milk is cold. And to that, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Take my whisk and stir this until combined. Preheat your fire to medium heat. Alright, let's get started with our milk, cream, and gelatin mixture. So in this medium-sized pot, I'm going to add 2 1/2 cups of heavy whipping cream and 3/4 cup of whole milk. Stir all your ingredients together. I'm going to let this get hot for about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, it's been about 3 to 5 minutes now. Add 2 teaspoons of gelatin. Stir all the ingredients together. You can also use a whisk as well. That'll help break down some of those pieces of gelatin. The cornstarch and the gelatin mixture is going to act as a stabilizer for the ice cream. So that way when you cut into your cake, your ice cream won't melt. It'll hold the ice cream together. Alright, that looks good. Now you're going to go ahead and turn your fire off. While stirring this, we're going to pour the hot milk, cream, and gelatin mixture in here 3 separate times. This is called the tempering method. It prevents the eggs from cooking. And lastly, we're going to pour the milk and cornstarch mixture. Just going to pour that right on in there. Preheat your fire to medium-low heat. Now I'm going to add the custard mixture back into the same medium-sized pot. Give this a quick stir. Stir this continuously for 8 to 10 minutes. Alright, it's been about 8 to 10 minutes now, and our mixture has thickened slightly. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now you're going to go ahead and turn your fire off. Okay, here I have a medium-sized bowl with a mesh strainer. Pour your custard mixture right on in there. Alright, from there I'm going to remove the mesh strainer out of there. And as you can see here, there's little bitty small pieces of gelatin. Don't worry about that, that is normal. So if your mesh strainer has a lot of egg particles in it, and if your custard mixture has a strong eggy-like smell, then you overcooked your custard and you would have to make it over again. Okay, next I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Take my spoon and give this a quick stir. Okay, here I have some plastic wrap. I'm going to take the plastic wrap and place it on top of the custard very carefully. That's going to prevent that skin from forming at the top. And I'm going to cover this. Place this into your refrigerator for about 6 to 8 hours. Or if you're a patient guy like myself, I'm going to place this into my refrigerator overnight. Alright, it's the next day. Plastic wrap off. And as you can see here, this mixture is more thick than usual. And I'm going to just give it one last final quick stir. Okay, here's our ice cream maker base. Now you want to freeze this for about 24 to 48 hours before you make your ice cream, or according to your instructions on your ice cream maker's manual. I'm going to turn the ice cream maker on. Pour your custard mixture into your ice cream maker base. Let this churn for 30 minutes. Alright, it's been about 30 minutes now, and as you can see, our ice cream is increased in volume and it also has thickened dramatically. It is ready. Now I'm going to turn the ice cream maker off. Now I'm going to carefully pull the agitator from the base of the ice cream maker. From there, I'm going to take it and I'm going to place it into this medium-sized bowl over here. I'm going to take a spoon and remove the ice cream off of the agitator. Okay, that looks good. Now as for the rest of it in the ice cream maker base, you just take a spatula and just glide along the sides first. And from there you take your sturdy spoon and just pull that on out there like that. From there you're going to take it and I'm going to just add it into the bowl with the rest of the ice cream. Now as you can see here, this ice cream is holding up pretty nicely. Now remember, this is a stabilized ice cream, so as you can see, even though it doesn't melt like a regular ice cream, it pretty much maintains its shape. I'm going to cover this. Place this into your freezer for about 3 to 4 hours or overnight. Okay, let's get started with making our stabilizer for our whipped cream. So in this small glass bowl, I have 2 tablespoons of hot water. And to that, I'm going to add 1/4 heaping teaspoon of gelatin. And I'm going to just give this a quick stir. Just stir this until that gelatin has dissolved into the water. Alright, that looks good. That gelatin has dissolved into the water. Now I'm going to cover this up with plastic wrap and place it into my refrigerator until the gelatin hardens. Like how you see here, as you can see, that's like a little jello there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to place this into the microwave on high for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, or until the gelatin has completely melted. Alright, let's get started with making our stabilized whipped cream. Now before we begin, I placed my mixing bowl and my whisk attachment in the refrigerator. So you want to make sure you do that to keep everything nice and cold. Add 3 cups of heavy whipping cream. Make sure your heavy whipping cream is cold. 3/4 or 1 cup of confectioner sugar. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1/2 teaspoon of cake batter extract. And to balance and bring out all the flavors, I'm going to add 1/8 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to start my mixer on a medium-low speed just to get those ingredients combined. Turn your mixer up to the highest setting and mix this on high speed for 4 minutes. At the 4-minute mark, You're going to pour your melted gelatin, all of it, right on in there. Continue to mix this for an additional 30 seconds. Alright, now I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl, and as you can see, that whipped cream is nice and thick. That's exactly what we're looking for. Place this into your refrigerator for about 1 to 2 hours before you decorate your cake. Okay, next I'm going to cut 4 bananas. I'm just going to slice them like this. Okay, let's get started with flavoring our rum. So, because I don't have any banana liquor, I'm basically create my own little banana rum, and that'll be a replacement for the banana liquor. Now, since I'm making 2 batches of the bananas Foster, in this measuring cup, I've added 2/3 cup of the Bacardi dark rum. So that's going to be 1/3 cup of the Bacardi dark rum per batch. And to that, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of the pure banana extract right on there. And from there, I'm just going to stir that. And there we have it, banana flavored rum. Preheat your fire to medium heat. Okay, let's get started with making our bananas Foster. So in this large pan, I'm going to do 2 batches of this. So this is going to be the first batch. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons, a half a stick of unsalted butter. Just add that in there. Spread that around. And let that melt. Next, I'm going to add 1/4 heaping cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to add a dash of nutmeg in there, just a small amount. Give this a quick stir. And from there, I'm going to let this come up to a simmer. Add your chopped banana. That's 2 whole bananas right on in there. Give it a quick stir. I'm going to let this saute for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Next, I'm going to add my 1/3 cup of my banana flavored rum right on in there, the dark rum, of course. From there, I'm going to tilt the pan over and ignite it. Now you're just going to keep doing this until the flame goes out. Give it one last final quick stir. And we're done. Now you're going to go ahead and turn your fire off. Let this cool completely. Okay, now I'm going to start on the second batch. It's the same procedure and the same amount of ingredients as the first batch I made. I'm going to add my 2 bananas that I chopped. Add my 1/3 cup of my banana flavored dark rum. I'm going to tilt my pan to the side. Flambe! Just do this until the flames go away. Give it one last final quick stir. All done. Okay, let's get started with preparing our pecans. So in a small food processor, I'm going to add 1 1/2 cups. This is 5 ounces in weight of the pecan halves. Add them in there. Now you can also prepare this by taking a knife, putting it on the chopping board, and just chopping the pecans manually if you don't want to use the food processor. I'm going to pulse this 10 times. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 375 degrees. Okay, here I have a 9-inch round cake pan. Add the chopped pecans into the baking pan. Just give that a quick shake. Now let's go ahead and put this in the oven. Place this into a preheated 375 degree oven on the bottom rack. Let this roast for about 5 to 7 minutes. Now at some point during those 5 to 7 minutes, you're just going to take your baking pan and just gonna move those pecans around, and from there just put it back in the oven. You want to do this about 2 times. Alright, it's been about 5 to 7 minutes now for our pecans. Now let's go ahead and remove these out of the oven. Let this cool completely. Okay, here's our cake layers. We let them cool completely. As you can see, there's a dome on top of the cake, so I'm gonna just take a knife and I'm just gonna trim that off. Place this into your freezer for about 1 to 2 hours or before you decorate your cake. Okay, let's get started with assembling our cake. So first things first, you're going to need a cake turntable along with a cake serving pad. This is a 12 by 12 inch. And of course, you're going to need your decorating tools like your your ice cream scoop, your offset spatula, sturdy spoon, couplers, and I even have a decorating comb. And don't forget your pastry bags as well. So let's get started. I'm going to spread a small amount of the stabilized whipping cream on top of the cake pad. This is going to ensure that the cake doesn't move. Add the first cake layer on top. Remember, this is frozen, of course. Just gonna add that on top, press that down like that. Add 1 1/2 cups of your stabilized whipping cream into this pastry bag. Make sure that the tip of the bag is cut off. Pipe a border along the edge of the cake layer. Okay, next, have an ice cream scoop here. I'm gonna just take some of the stabilized ice cream. Add between 1 1/4 cups and 1 1/2 cups of the stabilized ice cream or already made store-made ice cream on top of the cake layer. Okay, I'm going to take my offset spatula and I'm just going to carefully spread the ice cream around the cake layer. Alright, and from there we're just going to take some of the first bowl, because I have 2 bowls of this Bananas Foster. One from the first pan and one from the second pan, and I'm just going to take some of that and I'm just going to carefully add that on top and just spread it around as evenly as possible. From there, sprinkle some of your toasted pecans on top. Okay, next I'm going to take my pastry bag and I'm just going to add some dollops of whipped cream on top. This is going to support the next layer of cake. From there, we're going to add the second and final layer of cake on top. Just press it down some. On this top layer, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take some of our whipping cream and we're just going to add a little bit of that on top. And from there, I'm going to take my offset spatula and I'm just going to spread the whipping cream on top. Okay, and from there, I'm just going to take some more whipping cream and I'm just going to pipe a border along the edge of the top layer of cake. Okay, now I want to show y'all this. Here's our ice cream. We've been letting it, we let it sit out for about 15 minutes. And as you can see, it's not melting, it's holding its shape. That's exactly what we're looking for. This is what you call stabilized ice cream. All right, so from there, we're going to take some of the ice cream. I'm going to place that onto the cake layer. Now it's going to be normal to have some of the toppings left over. Now I'm just going to take my offset spatula and just spread the ice cream around as evenly as possible. And there we go. All right, this is bowl 2 of our Bananas Foster. This is from the second pan that we made. And we're just going to carefully add that on top of the ice cream. Don't add it toward the edge, just keep it away from that area. Just add it toward the middle. And from there, we're going to add some more of our chopped pecans. This as a final garnish. Okay, next we're going to take some of our stabilized whipping cream and we're just going to add that onto the side of the cake. Just take a small amount and just spread it onto the side of the cake. Please be very careful. You have to do this as quickly as possible. Alright, next we're going to take our little decorating comb here. Just going to place it right on the side right here. And just take the turntable and just turn the turntable. It's going to create a nice little decoration for us. There we go. All right, here we have our disposable piping bag. We fitted it with the Wilton number 1M tip, but remember you can also use 4B tip as well. And whatever stabilized whipping cream I have left over in my bowl, including the whipping cream that you had in your disposable piping bag that we had earlier, I added that in there too. Just take that and add that into the piping bag. And that is all of the heavy whipping cream. All right, it's ready. And from there, we're just gonna pipe a nice little border along the top. There we go, that's all of it. And after that, our cake is ready. This is very, very, very important that you follow these instructions, okay? Do not cut your cake right now, okay? because it's not 100% stable. We had to decorate it and it took time to do that. So now we have to take this and we have to place this into the freezer 4 to 6 hours. I'm going to place it into my freezer overnight and I'm going to cut my slice tomorrow morning. Okay, I have one last final quick step that I've added on to the decoration. So I have a half a cup of the roasted pecans that's left over. And to that, I'm going to just add an additional 1 cup of pecans in there. I'm going to blend this for about 30 seconds to 1 minute or until it becomes coarse crumbs. There we go. Alright, now here I have my cake on this cake serving pad, and I place it on a little pizza pan. I have it on the cake turntable, of course. Now this is the very next day after I done let the cake sit in the freezer for about a good 15 hours. Now for now, I'm going to just take some of my pecan pieces and I'm going to just carefully add that onto the side of the cake. Do this as quickly as possible. And keep doing this until you reach the other side of the cake. And once done, you just take your hands and just press the pecan crumb coating onto the sides of the cake. Now this should be done after you you place the cake in the freezer and you let it set for about 4 to 6 hours. Okay, and next I'm just going to take a pastry brush and brush all the pecan crumbs off of the cake pad, and I'm just going to add them onto the pan underneath it. Okay, now after you freeze your cake, now to let this cake thaw out, you have to let this cake thaw out for about 40 minutes to an hour. The more time you let it freeze, the more time you're going to have to let it thaw. The less time you let it freeze, the less time you have to let it thaw. Now the cake can sit out depending on the temperature of your kitchen. The cake is made and designed to hold up, so 2 hours maximum. But if you have to let it sit out for more than 2 hours, just make sure you keep an eye on it and make sure that that it stays stable. Okay. You can also thaw out the cake in a much quicker time if you take the cake and cut it into individual slices, and then you can thaw the slices out for a short period of time as well. Also, keep in mind that this cake is made with butter, so when butter freezes or if it's cold, it will turn solid and the cake will be firm, and it will also have a more of a dry appearance. Once the cake is brought to temperature and it thaws, that butter will melt and the cake will have more of a softer texture and a more of a moist appearance. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and cut you a slice. Now you want to make sure before you begin to heat your knife up on the stove until it's warm. Okay, now you're going to heat your knife up again and we're going to cut the other side. You have to apply a little force while cutting, y'all. Alright, y'all ready? Here it is. Here it is. Look at that. This is the cake here. This is the 2 layers of cake with the ice cream, bananas Foster, whipped cream, cake, ice cream, bananas Foster, whipped cream. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Homemade bananas Foster ice cream cake made by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. I have an official website for all of my recipes, including for this delicious homemade bananas Foster ice cream cake. You can go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's Taste Test is coming up next. Can't wait. Now it's time to go ahead and take a bite. Oh man, it's been more than 2 hours. As you can see, the cake is holding up pretty nicely. It's great. Oh man, I waited so long for this. Woo! Man, this cake is so good. I mean, when you take a bite out of it, it completely melts in your mouth. I mean, oh my goodness. It tastes like a bananas Foster cake. That's for sure, because you can taste the flavor of the bananas, the rum. Oh my goodness, and the cake. I mean, y'all, this is probably one of the best cakes I've ever made. I've never made it. Oh, the flavor is absolutely outstanding. Like I said, it's a very, very delicate cake. It completely melts in your mouth. And then the cake itself is super moist, very flavorful. That cinnamon swirl with that rum in there. Oh my goodness. Y'all, this is the ultimate New Orleans style ice cream cake. It might be daunting, take a little hard work to create everything and put it all together. But at the end of the day, it's all worth it. So give the recipe a try. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, have a good one. Peace.